So here we are, conducting the first ever Guild of AdVIInturers Recruitment Interview. I'm just going to sit back, let you take the reins, my friend. Simply introduce yourself and give us all the rundown of your story up until this point. Now, the floor is all yours.
That sounds easy enough. The name is Alistar. I was born and raised in the great city of Gilneas. People may say our hats are funny looking, but I'd say at least we have stellar architecture. It was such a pleasant place. Until that one day. The day that the Forsaken and Worgen invaded our city. It was as chaotic as you'd imagine. But during the invasion, I met a local boy named Oakscorn for the first time. Just like myself, he had recently been turned into a Worgen. But with his parents gone and him being alone, I knew I'd sleep a lot better at night if I made sure to see him to some form of safety. So, me and Oakscorn stuck together during the evacuation of Gilneas. We were lucky to have made it out alive. Both of us ending up taking refuge with the Night Elves in Darnassus for some time. They were very accepting of us. I know for sure Oakscorn showed much admiration of the elves, and I would say rightfully so. But, yet again, he was still alone, and he never did end up finding out what happened to his parents. So, I offered to allow Oakscorn to stay with me. You know, once I'd found somewhere to live of my own, outside those Gilneas walls I'd been behind my whole life. But the little mongrel refused. I never understood that wild pup. So he stayed in Darnassus, and I ended up moving to Duskwood. Shortly after I had been settled in that dark forest, I found a young girl named Alice, who is now my adopted daughter. She's a sweet and lively girl who herself had recently been turned into a Worgen when I found her. She was frightened by her new form. She must have just recently been turned when she lost her parents to a wild Worgen attack and was bit herself. While I was out helping Darkshire by hunting down some of the giant spider population, I found her huddled up in some abandoned shack. The poor thing. But she's resilient, and I'm proud to call her my daughter. Sometime years later, I had reconnected with Oakscorn in the wilds of Duskwood, where we became what I'd like to call friends. Oakscorn had definitely grown almost twice the size he was when we met during the invasion of Gilneas. Shortly after, I reconnected with the mongrel, who is practically now an extended member of the family. A place called the Maw had opened up within the realm of the Shadowlands. During the events of the Shadowlands, I focused most of my efforts with helping the Night Fae and the Graceful Winter Queen in their causes. But I did spend some time in Oribos participating in their arenas. While competing, I had been matched up with a Draenei berserker named Ardabios. During our fight, he said he had never seen so much ferocity from a hunter before. Whatever that means. But we did end up becoming friends. My daughter Alice and his daughter Rosalia became friends as well, seeing they are around the same age as one another. Now in current times, I still reside in Duskwood, but I have been venturing off into the Dragon Isles, most recently helping the Centaurs with their conflicts. A good bunch they are, and damn do they know how to hunt. I stay in touch with Alice, even though she's always running off somewhere. I manage. And the same goes for that wild one, Oakscorn. Ardabios and his daughter Rosalia tend to stay close to one another. I see them occasionally as well. As soon as Alice gets word that Rosalia is coming around, she'll come running. They are a great bunch of folks that I'm thankful to have in my life. That's pretty much all of the major events of my story up to this point, and how I met all of the most important characters of my story.
Well, that's quite the story you have, Alistar. As my main, consider yourself part of the Guild of AdVIInturers.
Cool. I like the sound of that.
Glad to hear. Now we can conclude this interview. If you don't mind, speak any final words you may have and give your farewell to the viewers.
Yeah, I can do that. Thanks for listening to a worn-out Worgen's tale. And always remember, don't shoot what you can't kill. I wish happy hunting to you all. Goodbye now.